Hello everybody, this is Jake with Nerds Know Best, and today I'm going to bring you guys my spoiler-filled review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So let's get right into it. If you have not yet seen this movie, you can go on BEJJZ Productions and you can watch my spoiler-free review, which is, I rave about the movie. I gave it an A+, I loved it. So this movie basically picks up 10 years after the original rise of the Planet of the Apes. Caesar's wife is giving birth, she's very sick, she's dying, and Caesar's, he has this community of apes, and he's the leader, and he's doing an excellent job keeping everybody safe and keeping everybody healthy. But one day, Ash and Blue Eyes stumble upon two humans, and one of the humans shoot Ash. Now, of course, you know that human was the biggest jerk in the movie, and I knew he was going to be the jerk the moment he shot Ash. Did anybody else agree with me? I think he totally was. And it was unfortunate too, because I don't know, he just sucked. But yeah, so Caesar's like, get out of here, do not come back here. He says, go, and then they leave. But Jason Clarke is the leader of this group, and these are humans now. So Gary Oldman and this town of civilians need power. They need electricity to live. And so Jason Clarke needs to establish sort of like an agreement with Caesar saying they can come here and they can work to get the power. But Caesar's like, all right, no guns or nothing. And then, of course, the jerk brings a gun, and then he gets kicked out. This is all while Koba thinks the humans are horrible, and he does not approve with Caesar working with them. So Koba wants to kill the humans. Simple as that. And I loved that they did this relationship and dynamic so perfectly. This dynamic is like Batman and the Joker. This dynamic is like Magneto and Professor X, where you can see both sides of the point. I'm not saying you would do that point. I mean, could you imagine being Joker and doing the things that he did? No. Koba is like Magneto, is like Joker, where he's doing things but for a reason. That fact was true up until the end of the movie. I felt that he was just looking for an excuse to kill Caesar. You can see a grin on his face as he's about to shoot Caesar, and you just think that he's so excited to do this that he's just going to do it, and he's not going to let anybody get in the way. And that's what I felt. A lot of other people said that, and I totally agree. I don't think he was doing this because of the humans. I think he was just doing this because he really does not like Caesar, and he wants to take control for himself. He was controlling people using fear, and he was a very, very horrible villain. He killed his son Ash because Ash refused to kill a human. He said Caesar wouldn't like this, so he drops the thing, and then Koba just grabs him and throws him off this ledge, and then Ash is dead. He killed his son. Which I found very, very rough. I was like, oh wow, this is dark as hell. But they find Caesar. Caesar's okay, and Jason Clarke and Kerry Russell help him. This is all while the humans and the apes are becoming closer, and they're becoming friends again. Because there's one scene in particular which I think really helped out with the movie, with Cody Smith-McPhee's character reading a book with Maurice, and I thought that was a great scene, and I was like, all right, they can have mutual bonds, and they can be together, and they can be friends. I like that. And you can really see that with Caesar and Jason Clarke. And when they're at the gas station, the music starts playing, and he goes, I trust you. And then they shake hands and everything. I thought that was awesome. And then the wife helps with Caesar's wife, and she's okay now. I loved that. Yeah, this is a really great movie. And so later on, you have Koba finally really starting to wipe out the humans, and he frames the humans when Caesar dies, and the entire community gets burned up because it's his fault, and he burned it on fire, and he shot Caesar. So basically, he controls everybody using fear, and he makes everybody fight, and whoever is loyal to Caesar is locked up and in a bus, and that's what they did with Maurice. And yeah, so Koba's basically controlling them now, and he's making them do horrible things. And there's this one shot, everybody knows what shot I'm talking about because it's the best shot in the whole movie. It's with Koba going onto a tank, and he's just taking out the gunner, and then he goes inside and he takes out that guy, and then he drags him back down, and it's all in one shot. And I thought that was the best shot of the whole movie, and it was just so well done. It was just one take of this tank just going. I just thought it was so awesome, and I loved it, and everybody's going to be talking about that one particular shot. Everybody that's a movie fan in general. I thought that was well done, and I thought that was really great, and that's where Matt Reeves really shines, and I thought he was like, wow, Matt Reeves, you're here to stay, and I love you doing this movie. This is awesome. And I love that Matt Reeves decided to make it about the apes, because the humans were not as strong, as I said in my spoiler-free review. The humans were much like they were in Godzilla. They were passable, and they were okay. They were extremely expendable, though. You did not care if they died. That's how I felt, anyway. But they did have a few good scenes with the wife saying her daughter died, and the father had a girlfriend. There was things in the movie that with them were done pretty well. But overall, I thought they were just kind of passable. But Gary Oldman has a scene that made me almost cry. He is looking at his iPad for the first time when they gain power back, and then he sees all of his kids and his family, and he's just like, you saw it in the trailer, he's crying, and that scene was just tough. I was like, oh my god. I was like, wow, this is tough for everybody, huh? I'm like, now, and that's where I really saw his side of the argument, and that's where I was like, all right, the humans are all right too. I really cannot choose which side I want to take. Of course, I'm going to go with the apes, but not because the apes are cool and all. It's not because humans are bad, because apes are the center of the story. So basically, the movie kind of ends on a cliffhanger. You have Koba and Caesar fighting. Caesar comes back and he's like, I'm here to fight you now. Let's go. One other complaint I have about the movie, he basically climbs up the ladder and he's all hurting, but then he gets up there and he's able to fight. And these are not downgrades of the movie. I'm just nitpicking at this point. I still gave it an A+, and I still stand by that grade. But I just think that it's because I liked it so much that I was pretty much, I'm not going to say blind to all criticism, because I do know that this movie has criticism, just like Dark Knight Rises. I love that movie, but I know it has major flaws. So it's like that with here. And speaking of Dark Knight, this movie is the Dark Knight to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and I thought that was so awesome. The sequel was actually better than Rise, and it was really, because I love Rise so much. I love this so much, and everything was just so well done. So anyway, Koba and Caesar are fighting. Koba is hanging off of a ledge, and he goes, Ape, no, kill Ape, because Caesar does not kill Ape. Caesar doesn't kill. He's like Batman, he's like Superman, he's like everybody. But they're always going to come across that moment where you're going to have to. And he just holds him up to the ledge. He's like, you are not an ape. And he throws him off, and then he hits a cable, and he hits onto that thing, and then it folds up on him, and then he falls, and he dies. I'm not sure if he's dead. He could survive. I just think if they showed him fall straight down, he's dead. But if they showed him stumbling and everything, he could be really hurt, but I don't think he's dead. I think he might come back for the next one. But who knows? So Koba's dead. And Jason Clarke and Gary Oldman are underneath are by the tower thing, and then they're like, Gary Oldman's like, I'm saving the human race, and he blows up the tower, and then all the apes are falling and everything, but Jason Clarke and Caesar have one more conversation before the movie ends. Jason Clarke says, they're coming, the military is coming, and Caesar goes, go, just go away, because war has begun. And, yeah, so stuff's about to go down, and the next one's going to be insane. It's going to be bananas. But really, I heard the last shot of the movie was originally a battleship coming toward the big bridge, and that would have been the biggest tease ending ever, because you had that, Hunger Games Catching Fire, and Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, which is huge cliffhanger endings. But it sort of ends on a cliffhanger here. It ends well enough where you're like, alright, I'm good. because it ends with Caesar and all the apes just over, and I thought this was great. It was just the sun coming up, and it's beautiful for dawn. I thought that was awesome, and I'm like, this is going somewhere, and I cannot wait. But the effects, like I said, are incredible. You really see the emotion in their faces, and I thought that was so well done. And it's really a credit to Andy Serkis, because he is just the best in the business. And Toby Kebbell, my God, he can mocap, and he's gonna be around. And one of the best scenes in the movie, I cannot believe I forgot about this. There's always that one scene in every movie where you really can see the point of the villain, and I loved it. Every scene, every movie. Dark Knight, you have that one scene with Batman and Joker in the cell, in the room. That's where you see Joker's side of the point, and you're like, all right, I get what you're doing. In X-Men Days of Future Past, on the plane with Magneto going, all of them died, what are you doing? He's like, you were supposed to protect us. That scene. In this movie, it has one scene like that, and it's in a boiler room. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. And Koba goes, humans tortured me. Human work. They tortured him. He wants revenge. And I'm like, all right. Okay. And those are some of my favorite movies of all. Those three movies are some of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm so glad that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was able to have one of those scenes. And I don't need every movie to have one of those scenes to really be enjoyable. Like, look at 22 Jump Street and How to Train Your Dragon 2. I didn't think those had a scene like that. But I love both of those. So yeah, wow, that scene was very well done. And then Caesar starts fighting Koba, and Caesar's about to choke Koba out, but he goes, ape, no kill ape. And then later on, no ape no more. I thought that was really awesome. So I think that'll conclude my spoiler-filled discussion for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. If there's anything I didn't touch on, let me know down below, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Do you agree with my points here? Do you think that the third one can be a huge war and it could be really awesome? Let me know what you thought of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes down below. Let me know what you thought of Matt. Let me know what you thought of Matt Reeves directing. That's what I want to know. And let me know what you thought of the CGI. And let me know what you thought of Andy Serkis and Toby Kebbell as the apes. Alright guys, that concludes it for me. This is Jake with Nerds Know Best. I'll see you guys next time with a spoiler review, probably for Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.